Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Panerai Radiomir 1940 PAM 399. You can see this Minerva movement powered Panerai on our website, purchase it there, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see the size, presence, and the span of the Panerai Radiomir 1940 case, designed to evoke the transitional references between the original 3646 design and the latter 6152, the shape that effectively became the modern Luminor. The 1940 case takes the Radiomir case profile, sweetens it with beautiful compound curves along its flanks, and adds stronger welded-on style lugs, not like the wire loop lugs of the original Radiomirs. So it has a more masculine presence with a lot more body and figure. Now the watch is quite slim in spite of its outright size. At the very least, you can say it wears slim. 15.5 millimeters would be considered thick, but when paired with this generally stepped and sloped case flank, conical bezel, and a generously sloped sapphire, you can see how a dress cuff easily rides up and over this. Now, if you are the type to button down to the bitter end, that second button, and strangle your wrist, well then you've got other issues, and you might not clear this watch, but everyone else is going to be able to get a dress cuff and a formal sleeve over this timepiece. 47 millimeters is across the broad of the case, 9:3 not including the crown, and the measurement across the lugs may be the most challenging for smaller wrists like mine, as it does measure a robust 57 millimeters from extremity to extremity. But in the fashion of Panerai, somehow it just seems to wear smaller than the bare dimensions suggest. You'll note that the lugs do thrust down rather sharply as they exit the flank of the case, and they don't constrain the strap, so you can pull it straight down. You can really pull it at right angles or even acute angles to your wrist if you have a smaller wrist, so the fit is easy to accomplish. Now it has what Panerai calls a Ranger style calf, a little bit shiny, has a light gloss to it with a contrasting ecru style stitch. Vintage vibe, vintage simulated patina is the look of the watch. You can see that continues on the dial with the simulated patina radium look lume, and it's matched with a large polished trapezoidal pin buckle in the Panerai fashion for easy adjustment on the fly and historic authenticity. You also note that the back of the watch, broad and flat, allows it to sit evenly with no hot spots or pressure points on the wrist, even though it is big. My verdict, I would say you could probably wear this watch on a wrist down to about 15 centimeters, maybe 14.5, without having any issues of proportion or security. Now I'll also add that the watch has a nice weight to it because of the broad case, the deep lugs. The outright heft of this piece is impressive and becoming of a Panerai sports watch. Inboard, I did mention that the dial has a vintage vibe and vintage elements to it. So you can see tri-Arabics. It is a sandwich style dial, which is to say a stencil on top of a fully loomed disc, in this case a fully loomed disc with that slightly golden ecru color. Make no mistake, it glows brilliantly at night. Unlike those faded radium patina Radiomirs of the 1940s, this one has lost none of its luminescent power, and it does have a few upscale touches that you'll appreciate as a consumer of luxury watches. Polished rose gold hands hint at the luxury finish that lies beneath, and by beneath, I mean beneath that sandwich dial, because this is a true piece of high horology, finished to a standard that you would expect of Vacheron, of Audemars Piguet, of Lange. The movement, hailing not from Panerai's ancestral home in Florence, nor its modern manufacture in Neuchâtel, but from Villeret, where it's constructed by Richemont corporate cousin Minerva, generally applied to the highest end of Mont Blanc watches. Minerva movements are built in only a few hundred copies per year. You can see the gorgeous anglage across the bridges. They're rounded by hand and polished to a mirror finish. Deep and rich Côte de Genève, a tight and even perlage across the base plate, all of the screw heads polished and their slots chamfered. It oscillates at a very traditional 18,000 vibrations per hour with a beautiful black polished swan's neck fine regulator. Manually wound, it has a 55-hour power reserve and it runs on 18 pivot jewels. Yes, Panerai has an OP caliber number for it, calling it the OP27, but the reality is, to everyone who knows and loves high horology, this is a Minerva caliber 16.7 and glorious, with an immense balance borne on a Breguet overcoil hairspring, built the old-fashioned way, assembled, regulated, and decorated by hand. This is a rarity in Panerai, which has gone manufacture movement since 2005, but nevertheless has precious few movements that are actually finished by hand. This is a beautiful watch with classical imagery. It compromises nothing of what you expect of the look, feel, and the persona of Panerai. Simple, legible, masculine, and yet on the caseback, you can go toe-to-toe with the very best from the highest houses of high horology. You can see this gorgeous Panerai Radiomir 1940 PAM 399 with Minerva caliber and stainless steel case, one of only 100 made in 2012, on our website.